Welcome back to Artscape, and we are here with Mirinda Reynolds talking about Via Colori, but now we're going to talk about you and your artwork. You've been an accomplished artist and teacher in this area for quite a while. Tell us about yourself and how you got started in art.
Okay, I'm an art educator and an artist, and trying to make the two work with a family is always challenging. It's a lot of work. I was the oldest of 4 girls, and I knew instantly that I could combine my two loves of working with children and being an artist and go into art education at VCU. And they have a fabulous program of many different types of art careers, but art education is a specific major that gears you towards thinking on a higher level, not just a coloring book kind of teacher, but really getting involved with the concept of what art really is and what it means to us as a society.
And years ago, you were Teacher of the Year in Stafford County, right?
I taught in Stafford County for 9 years, and now I teach at a private school, Fredericksburg Academy, here in Spotsylvania. It's a wonderful school. We are an independent college preparatory school, ages pre-K, which means 4-year-olds, up into 12th grade. I work with pre-K all the way to 6th graders.
And you also do private lessons too, so if anybody wants to get a hold of you, you do some private classes, mainly for children, right?
Yes, we have a children's gallery and classroom space on Jackson Street called The Creative Side, and you can find us at thecreativeside.com to see what classes we list.
Great. Now, let's talk about your artwork. These are oil paintings. And what were some of your early influences that sort of led you into this path?
I have painted murals before I got involved with oil painting, and large scale, the larger the better. A 10-foot wall to me is just my ideal canvas to work with. I was a little intimidated to start oil without directions, so 4 years ago I took your oil painting class at Liberty Town and learned the basic techniques on how to get my ideas rolling.
Right, and since then you've done very, very well. You've sold quite a few paintings and done numerous shows and things like that. But let's talk about some of the images here. You definitely have your own style, which is fantastic, and I think people can tell your paintings from across the room, which is a good thing.
Thank you.
We already talked about this one a little bit. I really like this one. Let's tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, it's called Mama Takes a Stand, and it is a different kind of self-portrait. It involves the concept of Leda and the Swan, painted by Leonardo da Vinci, and his vision is of a beautiful woman gracefully cradling a swan. I, however, gave it a slightly different twist, and when I saw this goose and captured this moment in a photograph, I just thought it blended perfectly with another photograph that I had.
Where do you get your ideas from? You just...
Everywhere.
Yeah?
Everywhere. Just keep a book with me at all times. It's in the car right now. I jot down notes. I try to keep my camera with me. If I don't, I have my cell phone. I learned how to work with models through you. I learned many things about using figures in art, and I think it's so important that you do work from a good image and a good model to get the point across for what you're trying to accomplish in the painting.
Right. So it's important you work with live models, you photograph them and you work with live models. So they're really modeling for you, they're sort of interpreting your ideas.
Yes.
Now, on average, how long do each one of these paintings take to complete?
Goodness. That one I started a year and a half ago, and I stared at it and put it on the back burner, finally got it back out again and spent a couple months on it. So I can't even guess the hours, but more than 40 usually per piece.
That's a good long time.
Yeah.
This is a really complicated one down here, which I mean complicated because I would dread painting that with all those tiny lines. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Okay. It is a very different conceptual art, and the other day someone saw it for the first time and said, wow, look at the contrast between this serious image of this man carrying this unconscious woman and then the playful color children's play area and how you combine the two events. And I really liked that he noticed that I was trying to combine elements in my work. It's just a statement on middle school. This young lady is purposefully isolated underneath this gym, and there's deep snow all around. It's a cold, windy day. You can see the wind blowing. And when you enter middle school, you're kind of on your own. It's not the comforting elementary school feeling anymore. And in my family, we're going through that, what middle school is like for a child. It is a blooming period. And Daddy will be there to rescue us all the time, of course. So that's more of a rescue image.
But he's outside of it. He's outside of it now. He's not in there with her.
Right. So he tries to. He tries to be there for her as much as he can.
Yeah, great color. I mean, it's amazing the colors you use. Not obvious choices. You just sort of almost at random, but they really work. Really strong, vibrant color. So,
thank you.
What about this guy right behind us here, the girl with the bicycle?
Okay. Beautiful place downtown called Barefoot Greens. Now it's just called Barefoots. They have renovated it and repainted everything within a month of me taking that picture. So I did something I've never done before. I've historically documented a place and a time before it got changed. Like many people have painted Fredericksburg hardware, and now it's gone. So this, I was sad to see the old colors go and the restaurant change, but I'm glad that I got that moment. And this was my most challenging technical piece. I really had a lot of perspective angles to work with, and the camera distorts your perspective, so you have to evaluate what you've got and where you're going with it and what you know it should be doing.
Right. I think one of the iconic images of downtown is the one right behind you, the train. I mean, that's such a great piece because not only is it a part of our downtown, but it also tells a story.
It's called Golden Day, and the folks that modeled for it are actually the Goldens. So it's a story of, and once again, an art patron coming through on First Fridays stopped and stared at it for quite a while and said, this is a statement on the contrast between fleeting love and a deep commitment. The man in the frame between the two carefree people in their bare feet is studying his watch carefully. He's just gotten off the train. He is a commuter, and he's likely thinking, I got to get home to my family, I got to fix dinner, I got to take care of those responsibilities in my life. So I loved that interpretation. It was really special, and it was in Uniquely Fredericksburg last year, and that was just a huge honor.
That's right. You won third prize, right? Which is that's really one of the best shows in town, and yeah, that was great. That's a wonderful piece.
Thank you.
I want to ask you about this one because that's not for sale. So if you see that one, right, you're not going to sell that one?
No, I've turned a couple of buyers down for it. I just can't part with it. Very special. It's called Flow, and it is an energy painting. The colors orange and blue symbolize energy and strength to me. So I used that in my piece, and it's very different from the original. The Alum Spring Park shots that I took had a very muddy base and very bland, muddy rocks that I knew I had to give my twist to.
Well, I think you do that all the time. It seems like you're not just copying photographs, you're interpreting them your own way, adding things to them, which I think is impressive. I think it's interesting also about the people talking about the train painting is they must get interpreted a lot of different ways. I know this happens to me too, is that often they're interpreted, and sometimes people tell me things about my own paintings that are more interesting and more fascinating than my own ideas, so you just leave them go with that. And
I didn't have the heart to tell the guy that my original photo shoot did not involve the commuters or the train at all. The train just happened to pull up as I was taking the shots. So I said, oh, what the heck, I'll go ahead and take a few. But my original images, I clearly in my sketches intended to have just the couple with the long expanse of the rail tracks. So it was a last-minute change.
That's interesting, because that was just sort of dumb luck, you know, because it's hard to imagine it without the train now.
Right.
Now, besides doing paintings like this, you also do commission work too, right?
I love to do portraits. I'm in the process of 4 or 5 for a show at Sammy T's this December, and it's a very rewarding career, part of the career. It's challenging. You try to capture the person's personality.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a lot different. Like these paintings you're doing for yourself, and you're just doing them, you know, the best you can. Commissions are a different world, right? Explain that.
Yes, I think you can agree that when we do commissions, often what we paint, we have to work with what we are given. So even if it isn't the photograph with the right angles or the right shadows, we still have to do our best to interpret it and make everybody happy.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. How do we get in touch with Via Colori, and how do people get in touch with you?
Okay, I am at fineartamerica.com. It's an artist group, a website group where you can display all of your art and communicate with other artists. It's like our very own little Facebook, but anybody can go and check out every piece you've ever done. You can also purchase prints through Fine Art America on canvas or paper. It's a great service. You can order cards as well. So fineartamerica.com, Mirinda Reynolds. And then Via Colori is viacolori.com and Facebook Via Colori page.
And one last time, when are the dates of Via Colori?
September 24th and 25th, downtown on a weekend, and it's going to be sunny this year.
Great, of course, right. Okay, you got to go to Via Colori. It's a really wonderful event. I think your whole family will like it. Well, anyway, thanks for joining us today. If you want to get a hold of me for any suggestions, comments, questions, I can be reached at billharrisart@comcast.net. Until next time, this has been Artscape.